Tonight on Joy News Prime, 2021 budget statement approved by Parliament after the minority lost yet another head count. The majority has expressed disquiet about the minority's insistence on a head count.
It's obvious that the good people of Ghana needs this all-important budget for government business to roll. And I think the minority knew, even before they challenged the decision of the Speaker.
But the minority says it will continue to insist on the head count.
Surprised that we'll vote on every single thing going forward.
Every single thing.
Don't be surprised.
Unibank founder Dr. Kwabena Dufo and former CEO of UT Bank Prince Kofi Amabing have petitioned Parliament over the revocation of the licenses of the two banks in 2018. They are asking Parliament to restore the licenses. The majority leader of HMN Sabonsu is, however, questioning why the Speaker is tolerating the petition.
The Speaker is the person who is solely responsible for the admissibility of the motions. Is the Speaker right to admit such motions when he knows that the matters are before the courts?
You think it's not right to admit such?
My own considered opinion, I don't think it's right.
In business, Ghana Statistical Service set for 2021 Population and Housing Census as Vice President Dr. Mamadou Bawumia launches 100-day countdown to census night.
The Population and Housing Census of 2021 will also see us implement for the first time data linking technology that is intended to harmonize and improve statistics in the sub-region.
After bringing you the story of how beads are loved so passionately by many, we're taking you to the world's beads capital right here in the eastern region of Ghana. My name is Israel Lai, and Joy News Prime is coming to you live from our Fanofa studios at Kokomlimli here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV, because we're free to air and also on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. This is the home of independent, fearless, credible and impactful journalism. Stay tuned in. Now, Parliament has approved the 2021 budget statement after the matter was put to a head count. This was after the minority once again failed to rally all its 137 members to show up in the chamber for the vote. In the end, the statement passed by 137-134, with the minority not having the benefit of 3 of its members. The House is expected to resume on Saturday to consider the estimate contained in the budget and what has been allocated to each ministry or agency. The matter was, however, forced to a head count after the minority challenged an earlier ruling by the first Deputy Speaker that the statement had passed in the voice vote.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. All against, say no. I think the ayes have it.
Deputy Minority Leader James Savage rose to challenge the Speaker's ruling and demanded a head count.
Permit me to quote that when a question has been put by Mr. Speaker, Order 113, that when the question has been put by Mr. Speaker at the conclusion of the debate, the vote shall be taken by voices, the ayes and the no, provided that Mr. Speaker may in his discretion, instead of declaring the result on the voice vote, call for a head count. Mr. Speaker, 1132, a member may call for head count or division. if the opinion of Mr. Speaker on the votes is challenged. Mr. Speaker, I'm challenging your ruling on the voice vote for a head count, and I'm calling for a head count.
Shortly after making the demand, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin returned to take the seat and agreed to the request for a head count and directed the clerks of the House to proceed with a roll call.
What the Deputy Minority Leader did amounted to a challenge. There was no further need for any expatiation of the situation, because once you disagree with the decision and even use words like "I challenge your decision," and I'm coming under Order 1132, that suffices. That is enough indication that one side disagrees with the decision of the Speaker. And so we'll proceed to do a head count. Now, because of the numbers in the House, we will adopt the same procedure we did during the head count of the ministers. And therefore, members will be seated, and when your name is pronounced, then you stand to be marked.
The matter was eventually put to a head count and the minority lost the game.
The ayes, 137. The noes, 134. Honorable members, clearly the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted.
The majority MPs are unhappy their colleagues forced the matter into a head count.
Well, of course, I mean, it was obvious that the good people of Ghana need this all-important budget for government business to roll. And I think the minority knew, even before they challenged the decision of the Speaker, that obviously they were not going to get a vote. But I think what is important for us as a country, at this time of our development, we cannot afford to stagger government business. And for me, well, of course, I mean,
We'll bring you the views of the majority in a bit, but the minority has served notice. It will always demand a head count during voting going forward.
We in the minority, we are successful today in the sense that,
you were successful today?
Yes, we were.
You lost by 3 votes?
No, it's not about just winning or losing.
Okay.
It's about what you get out. Right. Yes, the Ministry of Finance, led by the acting minister, have indeed accepted that they are going to amend the fiscal framework. Our point has always been that we've had concerns with how the fiscal framework has been presented. We think it has been distorted. We think the right impressions are not created. We think we have a number of expenditures that are missing from the framework. And so if you had to listen to me from the beginning, we've made the point that the deficit as reported in the budget statement is understated. The deficit of 11.7% is not the true situation. If you are to add the financial sector 13.8, it's not the true situation. In fact, the situation is 15.3% of GDP on cash basis, and if you are to add the rest, it's 17.5% of GDP. Gradually, the minister responsible for finance, the Honorable Chairman Sabunsu, has admitted and said to us that he's going to amend that. That is a major victory, not only to minority, but to the Republic.
Knowing very well that he said he was going to amend the concerns or address the concerns you've raised. Why were your side seeking to block it by demanding for headcount where you know that?
You see, the truth is, the fiscal policies are one. And remember, the fiscal policies includes the revenue measures, of which we've said that we do not agree to some of them. So putting it to vote is important, sending a signal that that is going to be done. But you see, this is an important vote for one reason. Important reason, a vote in the sense that this will form the basis of us accepting or not accepting most of the policies in the budget statement. So now that it is clear, the majority members of the House has accepted some policies, then going into the appropriations, then you'll be guided by the sense of the House and then work accordingly. So I think it's an important vote, and it's important that it happened this way. Don't be surprised that we'll vote on every single thing going forward.
Every single thing going forward.
Don't be surprised.
Everyone is going to, you knew very well that we are currently in the COVID pandemic and we needed to approve the budget in order for government to run.
I said every single thing, don't be surprised in the sense that if government fails to convince us that they are doing it in the interest of the nation, we'll vote against it.
Joining us on phone now is parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson. Kwesi, so the minority has lost yet another headcount, even though it could have at least managed to force it into a deadlock if it had all its members in the chamber. Which MPs were absent, and do we know why?
So 3 members of the NDC were absent in Parliament today. The host Central MP, Benjamin Podo, the Bia West NP, Augustine Teria, and the KEEA, that is commended now, Iguafra Brim MP, Samuel Atamil, were all absent today. Now, for Benjamin Podo, we have been told that he's bereaved. He lost the mother some days ago, and currently, as we speak, he is in the constituency going through with the funeral arrangement, and that is why he was absent from Parliament today. For Augustine Teria, we are told that he's seriously ill, and for like 3 or 4 days now, he hasn't been in Parliament. And so they knew that obviously today he wasn't going to be in Parliament. But for Samuel Atamils, the leadership do not know why he absented himself from Parliament today. So these are the 3 members of Parliament who were not present for today's proceedings, which of course made the NDC lose the headcount to their colleagues on the MPP side.
Now, the majority is unhappy that the minority seems to be forcing everything into a headcount, even though the minority is insisting that it will continue to force these things into a headcount. What has been the reaction over the position taken by the majority on this?
Well, Israel, I must say that they are quite upset. They are incensed with the conduct of the minority in Parliament today. They talked about the exigencies of the budget, knowing very well how COVID had delayed parliamentary session, and you know that Parliament was on suspension for 3 weeks just because of the outbreak of COVID-19 in the House. And so the time has come for members of the House to approve the budget so that at least government can run the activities or the programs that they committed in the budget statement. And so if you seek to block it, if you seek to reject the budget, then perhaps you are being an obstructionist. In fact, that is the word used by the majority, that the minority is trying to be obstructionist and gradually sabotaging the activities of government. But then, going forward, they expect that they should conduct themselves in a way that would serve the interest of the people of this country and not just the NDC.
So, Kwesi, what's next with the budget?
So we are now waiting for the budget estimate. Today we're told that the report was laid before the House. Now, this budget estimate now will tell us how much government is committing to the various projects they talked about in the budget statement. And the 88 district hospitals, the 7 regional hospitals, how much do we need? More, less? That is what the Parliament will be looking at. So they will be referred to the various committees, and the committees will now review and debate for or against the amount being allocated to the various ministries and the agencies. So that is what we need to wait for next week. And that would be happening on Monday, because tomorrow we are told that they are going to refer all the allocations to the various committees for them to quickly sit on the issues and file their report by the end of next week.
All right, thank you very much, Kwesi Parker-Wilson, our parliamentary correspondent. Unibank founder Dr. Kwabena Duffuor and former CEO of UT Bank Prince Kofi Amoaben have petitioned Parliament over the revocation of the licenses of the two banks in 2018. In a statement set for discussion in the House on Monday, cited by Joy News, Dr. Duffuor, a former finance minister and one-time central bank governor, is asking the legislature to investigate the conduct of BOG in the takeover. He is also asking Parliament to direct the restoration of the banking license of Unibank Ghana Limited by BOG and remedy the harms done to the shareholders' property rights as a result of the conduct of the central bank. Unibank was put into administration by the BOG in 2018 and then consolidated with 4 other defunct banks during Ghana's banking crisis. In taking over the bank, the BOG cited weak supervisory standards, weak operations, persistent liquidity shortfalls, and breaches in its cash reserve requirements as reasons for taking over the bank. Now, on his part, the former UT Bank CEO, Prince Kofi Amoaben, wants the legislature to conduct an investigation of the conduct of the central bank and Ghana Stock Exchange in the revocation of the bank's license and delisting the bank without due regard to the rules of administration justice guaranteed under Article 23 of the 1992 Constitution. The disgruntled CEO is also asking Parliament to direct the restoration of his bank's license and the remedying of the harms done to the shareholders' property rights as a result of the conduct of BOG. We're staying with this story because even before Parliament considers the petition brought in by the two banks, the majority leader is questioning the basis for its admission. Osechi Mensah-Bonsu believes the petition does not merit the attention of the legislature when the matter is currently before court, and accuses Dr. Duffuor and Kofi Amoaben of seeking to pitch Parliament against the judiciary. He spoke exclusively with parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
Well, yesterday, they brought it to the business committee and we discussed it, and I thought it was for next week, only to see it today. And I was wondering who planted it there.
You're wondering who planted it?
Yes, because it was at business committee yesterday. And the business committee's dealings is for next week. So who planted it there for today? It's something that I will have to investigate. But beyond that, this is a matter, these two matters are before the courts. Right? And the courts are investigating it. Do they want to pitch Parliament against the courts?
Is that what you think they want to do? I
don't know. They should tell us. Because the matter is before, these two matters are before the courts. And the courts have directed that they should resort to amicable resolution of the matter. And so they've lifted their feet off the accelerator pedal for a while. It doesn't mean that the case is being cancelled out from courts. It's still before the courts. So if from there you bring the matter to Parliament for Parliament to deal with, I really, the Speaker is the person who is solely responsible for the admissibility of the motions. Is the Speaker right to admit such motions when he knows that the matters are before the courts.
You think it's not right to admit such a motion?
My own considered opinion, I don't think it's right.
Because it's been...
it's before the courts. Fancy the situation that maybe it comes before us, and Parliament determines that, let's say, the licenses should be given back to them. And the courts also rule that the authorities were right in doing what they did. What would be the results?
So you would want the court to finish with the process?
I would have wished that the Speaker would have allowed the courts to handle the case, because it's before them. It's not as if it's now going to go to the courts. It's before the courts. And in any event, if we come to some determination, how do they enforce it if the matter is before the courts?
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break at this point, but we have more stories coming up, including the story about beads. After bringing you the story of how beads are loved so passionately by many, we're taking you to the world's beads capital right here in the eastern region of Ghana.
If a lady has beads around his hips, and it makes her so nice and attractive. The way I like the beads, I would say almost half of my pay I used to buy bees.
Got more for you. Do stay tuned in. We will deal ruthlessly and decisively with any group that wants to undermine the security of the Upper East region and the Bolgatanga Township. That is the warning coming from the new Upper East Regional Police Commander, DCOP Dr. Saibu Pabi Gareba, after he led some security officers in a show of force endurance route march in Bolgatanga Friday morning. The officers, made up of 136 junior police officers, 80 recruits from the Police Public Safety Training School in Polugu, 42 SWAT and counter-terrorism unit officers, 15 senior police officers and 2 senior military officers from the 11th Infantry Battalion at Bazua marched through the principal streets of Bolgatanga to boost their confidence and exhibit their readiness to combat crime in the region. Speaking after the march, DCOP Gareba said the Upper East region has seen an upsurge in crime and armed robbery in recent times, but that is going to change because the police is well equipped to combat crime in the region.
On behalf of the police administration, I want to thank you very much for this morning's endurance route march. I will take the opportunity to also recognize the contribution of the commanding officer, 11th Mechanized Infantry Brigade, based in Bazua in the Upper East region. The coordination that you've seen today with the Ghana Armed Forces, their participation and the cover they gave us in the show of force endurance march is because of the partnership of the Ghana Armed Forces and in particular the CO. We want to assure the Ghana Armed Forces that there will be a high level of collaboration between the Ghana Police Service in the region and the command, especially the 11th Mechanized Infantry Battalion in the region. This morning we have assembled here because of one thing: protection of life and property. It is our mandate, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Armed Forces and all the security agencies of Ghana, to protect life and property in the country, provide maximum security so that our citizens, our populace can move about, conduct their business without intimidation, without fear, without any harassment. That is exactly why we need to do this endurance, gather confidence, build our skills and morals to be able to advance and combat the tasks ahead. You recall that in recent times, there have been virtually fear of crime in Bolgatanga and its environs and virtually the region. The highway between Polugu and Paga has been engulfed with armed robbery. The same thing happens to the Sandema area, then also towards Boku, the Tili Forest.
He also assured citizens that police patrols have been intensified to deal with the highway robberies in the region and warned criminals and armed robbers not to dare the police.
The issue of route march, training, confidence building patrols is going to be a part of the region. So in this connection, from today, the Upper East Regional Police Command is going to launch an operational model. There have been operational models in the region, but it is to vitalize whatever it is in this region so that we'll be able to actually tackle the recent upsurge in armed robbery across the region. Therefore, we have divided the Upper East region into 3 forms as far as tackling the problem is concerned. We are looking at the Boku areas. We have massive police presence in that area, supported by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Immigration Service, and the other security services. We are able to maintain the security in that area. Then we are looking at the Sandama areas, where we have also in recent times been actually engulfed with robberies, especially attack on market women. We are going to also look at that area, introduce market day escort to be able to counter that situation, reintroduce and reinforce that region. The Ghana Armed Forces will support that in that regard. Coming into Bolgatanga areas, we are going to go this way. The highway within our region, from Palugu up to Paga, we are going to have a highway patrol teams there. Already, that patrol team is in force. The national headquarters has supported us with vehicles and personnel that is actually patrolling the route. We are doing escort.
We're taking another break. Still ahead in the bulletin in business, Ghana Statistical Service set for 2021 Population and Housing Census as Vice President. Dr. Bawumia launches 100-day countdown to census night.
The Population and Housing Census of 2021 will also see us implement for the first time data linking technology that is intended to harmonize and improve statistics in the sub-region.
Also ahead in the bulletin.
If a lady have beads around his hips and it makes her so nice and attractive. The way I like the beads, I would say almost half of my pay I used to buy beads.
After bringing you the story of how beads are loved so passionately by many, we're taking you to the world's beads capital right here in the eastern region of Ghana. Stay tuned.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Begin with news about the upcoming population and housing census. The Ghana Statistical Service has indicated that all arrangements for enumeration in the census have been completed. Speaking at an event to mark 100 days to the census night, government statistician Professor Samuel Kobneni said the necessary preparations have been made and they are ready to begin the main exercise this year. There's more in this report.
All is set for the 2021 Population and Housing Census, which is part of the United Nations Convention for member countries after every 10 years. Even though all the needed resources were provided for the exercise last year, the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic forced the Ghana Statistical Service to postpone the exercise to this year. According to government statistician Professor Samuel Kobneni, one of the major hurdles, which includes geographical mapping, has been completed.
2 years ago, we started the demarcation exercise. His Excellency, to date, Ghana Statistical Service is proud to provide you with information on the geography of Ghana beyond the 16 administrative regions that we know and the 260 administrative districts, and for that matter, the 275 constituencies which the Statistical Service Act mandates us for the first time to count at that level. Two other information that we want to share with you is that currently the localities that we have in the country is 131,739. His Excellency, from our point of view, this is the basis for decision making.
To officially launch the event, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia disclosed that this year's program, which is digitally driven, will be the beginning of an enhanced data harmonization process for some 7 ECOWAS countries on the African continent.
The Population and Housing Census of 2021 will also see us implement for the first time data linking technology that is intended to harmonize and improve statistics in the sub-region. The implementation of the Harmonizing and Improving Statistics in West Africa project is intended to ensure efficient data production through cooperation and partnership with national statistical offices of 7 West African countries, as well as 20 MDAs.
The 100 Days to the Census Night is part of the advocacy programs earmarked by the Ghana Statistical Service before the main enumeration day, which falls on the 27th of June.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has announced a new set of minimum capital requirements for development finance institutions. According to the regulator, up to 1.2 billion cedis will be needed, but that would depend on the kind of development finance business one wants to undertake. George Riafe has more.
Active maintain that the amount will have a bit dependent on the kind of business that one wants to undertake. Based on the new license requirement, anyone that wants a Class 4 license, which is a combination of wholesale, retail and guarantee finance, may pay 1.2 billion Ghana cedis as the minimum capital requirement. Those that want to concentrate on wholesale and retail development will just need 1 billion Ghana cedis. 800 million Ghana cedis will be required as the minimum capital requirement for firms that want to restrict themselves to retail and guarantee development finance. Well, for just retail finance, one may need 600 million Ghana cedis. Guarantee only will require 300 million Ghana cedis. The Bank of Ghana in the directive noted that it may take up to 6 months to grant a full request for a development financial institution in Ghana. It, however, maintained that it may grant a provisional license subject to meeting some requirement within this period. This directive is coming after government announced that it will roll out the establishment of a national development bank before the first half of this year. It's however not clear for now what kind of license the government may be seeking to operate with respect to the National Development Bank.
Also in the news tonight, Ghana is expected to receive 2 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines in the next quarter from the United Kingdom. This is part of support from the UK government to facilitate the quick recovery of the Ghanaian economy. Speaking on PM Express, UK High Commissioner to Ghana, Ian Walker, maintained that a mixture of stimulus package for businesses and vaccine rollout could do the trick in quickly stabilizing the economy.
We're now through, we hope, to a different phase in the UK, which is that with so much of the vaccine kind of rolled out, with numbers now falling very, very significantly in terms of positive cases, we are now looking at opening up the economy. So as children are now back at school, we hope in the next kind of couple of weeks we'll start to see more retail open up and such like. So we've been in a much firmer lockdown than we've seen in Ghana, but we're now starting to see that opening up, and we hope and expect to see quite, I think, an extensive, I hope, economic recovery on the back of that. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the key for the UK and for all partners now, I think, is making sure that we must not take our eye off the ball. You know, vaccine rollout, whilst it's going well, has a very, very long way to go. And we want to make sure that we really do, you know, remove the kind of the challenges that COVID has presented to so many of us around the world.
And that's it for business. For now, we have another bulletin coming up next hour. Up next, sports.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the first part of the sports segment with me, Oreku Wampofa. We have an interesting story for you as football and religion have struck a relationship in the Women's Premier League. Sadat Anatu of Northern Ladies wore a hijab in her team's last game against Ampim Darkwan Ladies, and she has been speaking to Joy Sports' George Addo Jr., who went to the Northern region to meet up with her.
So you put it on, you got onto the pitch? what your team is saying?
Everybody was surprised. And they were asking, am I going to use it to put in? I said, of course. They were just asking. Even the Muslims were asking. Because I don't know whether, because it hasn't been there, no one has been doing. So they were surprised. Then in the point I even got, I was like, my Christian mates are asking, why is it that my fellow Muslims are so asking? Then I just said, it's okay, because they didn't know anything about it. And actually, I told them, yeah, I'm going to use it. And I could see in the back, in the stands, the supporters, all eyes were just on me. They were just asking, what was this girl wearing? What is this? Like, most of my friends even thought I had an injury in my hair or something. I don't know. So I had to explain it to them. My fellows had to explain it to them. And even whilst playing, I could see the spot on me. People were just looking at me. So at the point, I even felt shy. I was shy because I was odd among all the teams, both my team and the opponent. I was just odd among them. So I didn't let it discourage me.
Did you have a good game?
Yeah, I did. And I would even say that was my best game throughout the first round. Yeah, I did enjoy it. So I don't know whether I had this. I don't know, but I would say it's good. It's good because it is I did something new there, something different, and actually my game also changed. So
you play well. So on the pitch, no obstruction, no uneasiness. You know, the fact that you're in a hijabi and moving.
No, not at all. Nothing restrained me at all. Nothing. It's just different because it's actually made in a sporting way. Yes. So the comfortability is there. It's just okay. I don't even feel like I'm wearing anything. It's just there. So I'm just okay. I'm just free.
After the game, your teammates, what were they saying?
The only questions that kept on coming was why I wore it. And it just kept on coming. Even after the game, when I came home, I had a lot of calls from my friends back in the house, in school, because the picture it went viral. Yeah, a lot of people saw it. So they were just calling me, my coaches, my teachers. I was like, what did I wear? So I just don't know. They needed an explanation for it. I also didn't have anything to tell them because I just felt like wearing it. It's something I wanted to do and I did it. So that's the only explanation I gave them.
That's right. So how proud are you that you've been able to make this statement?
I'm very proud. I'm very proud, and it's very inspiring for me personally because being the first lady to do that, it's very amazed me a lot because I didn't know it's going to be something like this. It is something I just wanted to do, so I'm just surprised with the outcome and the kind of comments I'm getting out there.
And the Ghana Football Association was forced to put out a statement. Did you see the statement?
Yeah, I actually saw it. So, and that day, my dad even called me, and he said some of the words to me that he has never said to me. Wow.
Oh, tell me, like they were sweet words.
Yeah, like. Very sweet. And my mom too. They were saying they were proud of me and stuff, and asking me what I want. Yeah, they are planning to give me a gift when I come home. So I'm very. I want to go home, so I will just go for it.
Well, that's good stuff. Okay, so that's a special one. So you're going to be wearing this going forward, or you wear it based on instincts, or you want to be part of your stuff? I'm
going to wear it throughout because it's going to be part of me now. It's going to be part of me now. I'm just going to wear it throughout my game.
Yeah.
They should watch out for it. I'm not taking it off.
You're not taking it off. Okay. Yeah. You started that. That's pretty brave as well. So let's talk about the rest of your career. What are you looking up to? What do you hope to happen soon with your career?
I hope to play personally. I want to further with the ball professionally, and also hopefully next year I'll continue to the tertiary level. I'm actually good with the hand too. I have the hand skills with drawing and painting as well. So I'm actually going to continue that in the tertiary level.
Wow, so you're combining school with this?
Yeah, I combine school with it.
You're a tough girl.
Yeah, I am.
You're a really tough girl. Wow. But in terms of the football career, what, national team? You'll have to play national team?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to serve my country here. Yeah. It would be an honor to do that.
An honor to do that. Yeah. Good. So just your final words then to other ladies watching you who have seen you do this, are still stuck, not too sure about whether they should step out. What do you have to tell them?
Mostly it's not their fault. It's their parents rather in the society. They prevent their words from coming out because of the issue of not covering the body and stuff. But I'm just urging, I'm encouraging and I'm motivating my other fellows to also step out to follow their dreams, to, and also in a way for us to please our maker too. Because I hope when they are doing that, they also wear the hijab as well.
Well, that was the story of Anatu Sadat, and that's actually part one, because part two would go into detail about how the hijabis, found their way into Ghana and which footballer made that possible. So do stay tuned and join me in the second part of the sports segment.
Right, time for Showbiz, and Becky Bex is here. Hello.
Right
Bex.
here. It's a Friday,
It is.
we have to talk about Shasha Mali. When was the last time? Oh yeah, I know. We're twinning.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay. When was the last time?
You heard from Shasha Mali.
Been a while.
So he released a song in January.
Okay.
And earlier this morning he was on Joy Prime, and he's been talking about Mata. He had to explain this song like over and over again. This time he's saying that this will be the last time he will explain the song, the Mata song. And then he spoke a little bit about his new song, which is Enemies Are Not Jah.
All right.
Shasha Mali right there. But Izzy, let's talk about Jackie. Have you heard about of Jackie? Jackie is a musician.
Okay. I thought you were going to talk about Jackie.
No. Selling Ghana to the rest of the world. She's currently in Nigeria, and she's actually released a song, her song Forever, featuring like the remix of the song Forever, which is making waves.
Okay.
You know.
I'm not. I haven't heard of it.
Okay, so, well, she spoke to us this morning talking about the song and what she's doing in Nigeria.
All right.
So I came to Nigeria a couple of days ago, and it has been amazing. I came to do media run, promote the song on a couple of radio stations and TV stations, and meet up with my fans over here as well. We also shot the music video for Forever, the remix, which will also come out very, very soon.
Okay, but how has the reception been like from Nigerians?
Oh, it's been lovely. It's been amazing. Nigerians actually do love Ghana music, not just my music, because I could be in the car and then I would be hearing Ghanaian music being played on their radio station. And
listening to.
Yeah,
probably from here.
So, the Grammys that we're fighting for, that we want to, get, just the Grammy.
Yeah.
So Beyonce's, yes,
Oh,
please.
no. Oh no. Anyway.
Your dad has a Grammy.
She can afford to do that.
Yeah.
They can afford to do that.
If I get a Grammy.
All right. Thank you very much, Becky Bex, for bringing us Showbiz. And that'll be it. Before we go, though, let's take a quick look at the stories making headlines at myjoyonline.com. Kwabena Dufo, Kofi Amwabeng petitioned Parliament for revocation of their banking licenses. And then 2 students with dreadlocks allegedly denied admission to Achimota School. And we also have 517 deaths recorded in road accidents between January and February 2021. That statistics is coming from the police. And then I regret not patenting the Veronica Bequin, who founded or who invented the Veronica Bucket. And there is no motivation by GWCL to cheat any customer. PRO rejects overbilling claims. All these stories and more on myjoyonline.com. We have more news coming up in the bulletin. To stay tuned in. A 38-year-old nursing mother who sustained minor injuries on her shoulder following Thursday's motor accident on the outskirts of Sala in the Savannah region has been discharged from the Sala Tunakalba District Hospital together with her 2 children. Mahama Sakara, the driver of the Sprinter Benz bus which crashed after veering off the road, was also discharged and is currently assisting police in their investigations on the possible cause of the accident. Meanwhile, some additional corpses deposited at the Upper West Regional Hospital mortuary have been identified by their families. Joy News' Savannah regional correspondent Isaac Nonya joins us with the details. Isaac, first tell us how the rest of the injured accident victims are doing.
Well, doctors from the Solar District Hospital said they are doing very well.
and they're left with some one or two attention for them to be fully recovered and be discharged. I will speak now. They have transferred almost all of them, 15 of them, to the World Regional Hospital, where they will continue to seek medical care. Because it appears that almost all of them are from Upper West, somewhere in the region, not necessarily in Wa. And having gone home, their relation will be able to have access to them and visit them and attend to them, apart from what they'll be receiving from the doctors. The 38-year-old woman, the nursing mother, where the doctor said he sustained some minor injuries on the left shoulder. The little girl, nothing happened to her. Well, the other 7-year-old girl, we are told, also belonged to the same woman. She passed on, and her corpse was also identified among 7 others at the World Regional Hospital today. We are told that out of the 8 corpses that were deposited at the hospital yesterday, 7 have been identified, leaving 1 yet to be identified by the family members.
All right, have we had any accounts from the passengers how the accident may have happened, considering the uncorroborated accounts of the driver?
Yes, Israel, this was the aspect that the police cast doubt about the statement given by the driver at the first place.
Yes.
But today, that has been resolved. Resolved because the police went back to get the driver for interrogation. He was taken to a police station when he was asked to go back to Wa together with others to continue treatment. And based on interrogation, the account he gave was not contrary to the first one. So based on that, the police went back to the spot and then went into the bush. And when they searched around, they were able to trace pieces of the set top box that fell off from the Sanyong minibus that overtook the Sprinter. So the police said they can confirm that it's true. The first account by the driver is very reliable and authentic, just that they cannot trace the whereabouts of the said vehicle. But the chop boy really fell from the box, from the car, and he ran into it, burst the front tire, one of them, and then somersaulted into the bush, killing the 6 on the spot and later 2 others at the hospital.
All right. Thank you very much, Isaac Nunya, for that update. And so as you just heard Isaac say, it has been established that indeed chop box fell off one vehicle and it forced the vehicle that was following to, in an attempt to swerve it, it veered off and crashed into somersaulted before crashing. That's why it is important that when you load your vehicle, you can't just load it anyhow, and the police and the officials and the station masters are supposed to make sure these things are not allowed to happen. Some of the vehicles simply just pack stuff onto their vans, and it can cause accidents and it can cost lives. In other news, Parliament, as was reported earlier in the bulletin, passed the 2021 budget by majority decision after it was put to a vote on Friday, and it's set to begin consideration of the various estimates. Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu, however, says the budget lacks transparency, alleging government failed to produce official records of the true state of the economy. He also alleges government spent about 19 billion Ghana cedis, even though it was 10 billion cedis that was approved by the House for domestic support from BOG. Haruna Idrisu says the central bank governor would be made to face the consequences of his actions. He was speaking to climax the debate on the budget statement.
But government must come clear on our true fiscal situation. Government must come clear on our true state of debt. Government must come clear on how much you have borrowed unlawfully from the Bank of Ghana, because you came to Parliament only for 10 billion. Records available to me indicate that the Bank of Ghana financed government beyond the 10 billion, a figure of 19 billion. I'm even hearing that the Bank of Ghana probably bought government bonds. How did they do that? Within which law? We will hold the Bank of Ghana and government accountable to any infractions of the Bank of Ghana Act. What you did in Parliament was to look at 10 billion.
The leader of the NDC caucus also questioned government's decision to freeze wages for public sector workers. He cautioned government against disrespecting organized labor.
In this budget, the workers of Ghana do not know their fate. You have not determined the minimum wage, which will affect the private sector. Neither have you determined public sector wages, as is required of you to be done by the tripartite within the meaning of the Labour Act of Ghana. I hear somewhere, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to believe it, I don't want to accept it, that government is contemplating a wage freeze. Wage freeze. That probably, Mr. Speaker, will be a veritable source of insidious labor disputes and conflicts that will contribute to some lack of industrial peace and harmony in the country, and that can undermine productivity. But, Mr. Speaker, my advice to government, even if that is your weird thinking, you are a tripartite, show respect and demonstrate respect to the social partners of organized labor. You cannot, within the meaning of the Labour Act, take a unilateral decision on this matter. You cannot, as a government. This country is governed by law, and the law recognizes a tripartite, and the tripartite must determine at the Joint Services Negotiating Committee what should be the expectation of organized labor. So, Mr. Speaker, it means civil servants, officers of the local government service, they don't know their fate. Even the private sector, they need to know the minimum wage for purpose of planning. But, Mr. Speaker, I have some sympathy for government because I appreciate that COVID have contributed to weakening and contributing to the fragility of our economy.
Deputy Majority Leader Afenyo Marking has ever justified the taxes introduced by government in the 2021 budget, arguing that in spite of the world economic contraction due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the NPP government did not record negative growth. He says rather than being condemned for the move, government must be commended for prudently managing the economy.
Mr. Speaker, we grew 2017 by 8.1%. 6.3% 2018, 6.5% in 2019. Mr. Speaker, and COVID came, 0.9. But in the NDC era, it is important we compare so that your mischief doesn't get into the minds of Ghanaians. You are supposed to be in opposition, providing alternative. So my duty today now is to tell Ghanaians that even when there was no pandemic and you had all the space, this is what you did. I'm going to tell you what you did. 2014 growth under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, 2.9%. 2015, 2.2%. 2016, 3.4%. And you are telling Ghanaians you are better, that if today we are not in government, you will take over. It will be a worse situation, Mr. Speaker. You cannot manage the economy. You didn't have COVID. Look at your growth rate. Look at your growth rate. And because of the liberty of opposition, you are creating the impression that you can do better. You cannot. You cannot. I dare you. You cannot, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Leader,
if anybody, Mr. Speaker, is wrongly blaming the government for our economic woes, Mr. Speaker, the person must pay attention to our records for the past 4 years.
Mr. Marking says the taxes will be reinvested into the economy through the creation of jobs for the youth, adding that the sanitation and pollution levy will create a lot of opportunities for the private sector.
Mr. Speaker, if you look at our performance so far, COVID-19 health levy, Mr. Speaker, members of parliament have taken their vaccine. Other well-placed people in this country have taken their vaccine. Ghanaians must get their vaccine. We need to finance it. And, Mr. Speaker, today, we are being told that the levy that is being imposed has captured at paragraph 254, Mr. Speaker, is not necessary. Can the NDC be loud in telling Ghanaians that we don't need to purchase vaccines for them? Tell them, because the purpose of this is to enable, Mr. Speaker, us get vaccines for them. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to disposing medical waste after this vaccination, Mr. Speaker, all of this costs money, and the NDC cannot tell me that we do not need this. NDC cannot say so. Mr. Speaker, government is proposing the introduction of this levy, which is 1 percentage point increase in national health insurance levy and 1 percentage point increase in the VAT flat rate. Mr. Speaker, this will provide the requisite resources for the following, for emphasis and pay attention: procurement, distribution and administration of vaccines, establishment of 14 medical waste treatment facilities across the country for safe disposal of medical waste in collaboration with private sector. So it means that jobs will be created. Mr. Speaker, fumigation and disinfection of public places, jobs will be created, opportunities for the private sector, recruitment of more healthcare professionals in addition to the 100,000 recruited in the first term of Mr. President.
For Regional Health Director Dr. Kwabena Boateng-Boakye has said the increase in COVID-19 deaths is indicative of how rapidly this virus is spreading in the region this year. He revealed 4 people have died of COVID-19 since January 2021, bringing the total deaths to 19 since 2020. Speaking at the maiden 2020 Ahafo Regional Performance Review at Goso, Dr. Boakye have assured measures have been taken to combat the disease in the new region. Precious Semevo has more from Goso.
The 2-day forum under the theme Improving Quality Healthcare Delivery, focusing on maternal and child health in Ahafo region, employing the district health family system, allows the health directorate and their collaborators to evaluate work done in the past year and provide strategic direction for healthcare for the year. In his address, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumar-Boakye, said collective marketing of the Ahafo region will end the many unfortunate misconceptions and help attract more health personnel.
I think it is our collective responsibility to attract health workers into the place. When I was transferred to the north, someone told me, and I believed it, that in the afternoon, fridges don't work. And I actually thought it was so, but I felt I was motivated enough to go. Sometimes people don't know where Ahafo is. They don't know what is Goso. They don't know Yamfo. As soon as they hear the first names, I won't go. I want Accra, I want Kumasi. And I think as a region, we need to market ourselves. That there are good things here, and that there are health workers who are working here, who are happy, and they are not asking to leave. And I think that information cannot just come from the health sector, it must come from the whole region to be able to make the place more attractive.
The Ahafo Regional Health Director, Dr. Kwabena Boateng-Boakye, said 4 people have died of COVID-19 since January 2021, bringing the total deaths to 19 from 686 positive cases with 15 active cases, a situation that requires assured measures to combat. He said despite the debilitating effect of the pandemic, the Directorate made significant improvement in healthcare delivery, though more support is needed to do more.
As it's well known today, the pandemic has caused great inconvenience and altered our way of life in Ghana and in fact globally. As of 14th of March 2021, suspected active cases are 686 out of 2,744 suspected cases, and 19 have died so far. And for this year, 4 people died. These statistics are indicating of the rapidity with which this virus is spreading in our region this year in Ghana as a whole. In terms of measures to replace combat the disease, the various public health and medical expertise at both the regional and national level have been functional, active with their rapid response teams and also the emergency operation centers. All other thematic areas in the management of the pandemic are being dealt with excellently, especially in the area of risk communication and social mobilization.
Ahafo Regional Minister Georgia Boakye, performing his maiden task since his confirmation, expressed the region's appreciation to the healthcare workers in their lead role in the COVID-19 fight, assuring them of government support to improving healthcare.
I pledge my support for the district family health system, which will serve as a catalyst to the achievement of the health service vision. I will further urge the district assemblies, Nananom institutions, charitable organizations, and citizens, both local and abroad, in the various districts to work closely with and support the district health directories in cash and kind. I wish to use this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to all stakeholders who contributed in diverse ways, and to also extend my heartfelt appreciation to our gallant health workers and managers of the health service in the region.
For Joy News, Precious Semevo, Goso.
Well, at the national level, Ghana has now recorded 713 COVID-19 related deaths. That's according to the March 15 update. This was after 8 more deaths were added to the figure. The confirmed cases, as we have it now, stands at 89,008. 363 new cases were added in the March 15 update, and the active cases now stand at 3,343. Now, at age 13, Mohammed Amin Mansour is breaking barriers in the field of carpentry. Many are dazzled by his craft, with increasing demand for his product. But the computer engineering graduate had to make a critical career decision, quitting his job as a systems administrator at a major hospital in Kumasi to become a carpenter. Joy News' Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin has more.
My name is Mohammed Amin Mansour. I'm a carpenter, but IT engineer by profession. I completed Edumai SHS in 2009. From school, just don't know what the future lies for me. So IT is a hot cake in the market, so I consulted with my mom, so I joined IPMC in August 2009, just 3 months after I completed SHS.
Mohammed Amin had always admired his grandfather and desired to follow his steps as a successful carpenter. He realized his part-time job as a systems administrator was not paying off. His grandmother, Hajia Auraba, was his immediate good Samaritan who supported him financially to make ends meet.
Easy with my parents, but for my grandmother, she understood because I sometimes go for her for tea and tea before I leave for work. And from here to Konfanochi, every day will cost you nothing less than 7 to 10 cedis. You will take your breakfast, lunch. For supper, it will be ready before I reach home. So let's say 15 to 20 cedi a day. It can't balance the equation due to this financial. So I decided that's the main reason why I quit.
Mohammed Amin decided to go back to the drawing board and start all over again. He spent most of his free days monitoring his grandfather's carpentry work located near the family home. Mohammed Amin developed interest in the carpentry work. Opportunity presented itself one day when his grandfather asked him to try out furniture making.
His shop was situated in front of our house. So right from work or school, I used to come there and sit. Whilst he is working, I started picking, but never inform him that I want to do carpentry. Whilst he was doing, hold this for me, do that for me, just he think I was helping, but I was acquiring the knowledge. So when I stepped forward and said, I want to, he said, can you? And I said, yes, I've been learning from what you are doing. So he just said, then this is a stuffing chair that somebody brought. Do it. If you succeed, I will pay you. If you spoil it, then I will pay it back. So it's like a gamble. I did it, and lo and behold, that's the beginning.
Between 2013 and 2014, Mohammed Amin decided to convert a small part of his family home into a shop.
Then boys, get to life. though I wasn't from a ghetto, but I have brothers who live in the ghettos. Oh, do this for me. 2015, Babama, I have a friends, Babama and Ama. You used to call him Why Worry. They gave me their room set to do. They gave me their room set to do. Since it comprises of a chair, wardrobe, bed, TV stand, I did it. And people passing by, because I've displayed it in front of my house, so people saw it and oh, it's good. You keep it up. So it just began. Then the morale just came on fully.
He received 300 cedis a month as a systems administrator, but now makes an average 3,000 cedis a month. The Amin Furniture has 6 apprentices, and he has built a platform that attracts over 500 customers across the country.
From this same work, inshallah, I have a wife. I take care of my wife after giving her what she needs, my own. That's why I said for a month, if I'm to say it's a salary, I will get 3,000.
Mohammed Amin says he is no longer interested in taking up computer engineering as a full-time employment because of opportunities to serve many clients with his furniture works.
It's not always what you learn that will take you to the promised land. Never depend on what you have yesterday and say that it will hold you for tomorrow. No. Just look at the market. Just look at the market, the trend, and pursue what you think will help you best. And carpentry, because Ghana is a developing country. People are building houses. Contractors are on field. So carpentry, the market for carpentry is there.
When Mohammed Amin decided to follow the steps of his grandfather, some family members opposed his carpentry venture. His mother, Hajia Harisa Amin, was disappointed in her son for failing to pursue his career as a computer engineer. 9 years after making the move, Mohammed Amin says he has no regret.
I've never regretted, and I thank God for this guidance.
He hopes to emerge as one of the largest furniture producers in the country. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Now, in our Ghana Man series this year, we told you how some people are so passionate about beads, especially when worn by their women. Well, today we take you to the Eastern region, the hub of beads production and host of the biggest beads market in Africa and the world. Invariably, the Kromos are noted for the commercial production of glass beads, which is the contemporary taste of beads and fashion for many. They produce all manner of designs under the sun, a very unique identity that distinguished Ghana in the league of beads-producing nations. History has it that even though the European traded beads among other treasures, Ghana has long before the invasion of the Portuguese had beads as part of the culture. Maxwell Kudako unearths the anthropology of glass beads in Ghana.
Even though the European traded beads among other treasuries for enslaved, Ghana have long before the invasion of Portuguese had cultural identity with beads. The Krobos who existed in present-day Ghana and were domiciled in present-day Akuse before the beginning of slave trade in the 1480s were already masters of glass beads production. The Krobos perfected the glass beads production from the Phoenicians and became part of their culture. Mr. Joshua Nate Numwa is director of Kobodan Beads Limited.
In the Krobo life, from the time somebody is giving birth to till the person dies. So we have beads that are worn for children. There is one called La. When a child is going to be given a name, that La is put there as a symbol, and it consists of 3 beads. We have Koli, we have Tobi, and Nyoli. Koli in the Krobo language means greatness. So that bead that is put on the wrist of the child signifies greatness. When you are growing, you must aspire for greatness. Then we have the Tovi, which is black. It tells you that there is wickedness in this world, and as you are growing, you must be very careful. Then we have the white one, Yoli, which tells you that you must always tell the truth.
Several types of fanciful beads are available, ranging from brass, antique chevron, clay and glass beads, but the glass beads appear to dominate. Ibrahim Mohammed is secretary to the Koforidua Beads Sellers Association. He shares his knowledge on the origin of beads in Ghana.
Because people who are like, let's say, hunters will use it to decorate themselves. When you kill an animal, they use the teeth. They use part of it to create something that they wear to show how strong or powerful they were to be able to kill, for example, a lion. And there was history of human beings' teeth used as beads. So it's for decoration, and human beings use everything to decorate. So that's why we still have beads from the seed which are beads also here. And the beauty, the way it is strung now, it is such that it attracts everyone. So that is how come the young guys of today, male and female, are all wearing them, because they have moved away from the way it used to be like a fetish thing to something fashionable.
Producers move round in search for all manner of used glass bottles and louver blades as primary raw material. It is compacted and ground to powder, mixed with preferred color, and dished into a well-designed molded clay plate and then baked. Here is your quality Ghana glass beads. What has changed with the narrative, making beads generational fashion in contemporary times? A bead seller, popularly known as Bobo, shared his thoughts.
But thanks to innovations and then what mostly happened in Nigerian films, it has given people that idea. And I tell you, that is where the revolution started, because we had it and then they were coming, pick it and then make it theirs. And today you can see it has taken everywhere like a storm.
Mr. Peter Manfo is director at the Center for National Culture in the Eastern Region. He told Joy News, the Koforidua Beads Market is the one and only biggest beads market in the whole of Africa and by extension the world.
And the beads, it's a unique identity. The beads market is a unique identity for the region, in the Eastern region.
This Australia has been in the bead business over 20 years. She travels to Ghana often to buy local bead and redesign it for sale in Australia.
We all are looking for something to hold on the history, you know, because now the life is very fast going, and you know, all this plastic jewelry and so on. There's no history behind, and we are all looking for the good old time, maybe.
On Ghana Man, Maxo Kodaka report for Joy News.
Welcome back. Time for business. We start off with vegetable production. Ghana's vegetable importation is expected to reduce with the installation of 200 greenhouses across the country. According to Agri-Impact Consult, an agriculture development firm, 100 of the facilities are operational, producing healthy vegetables for the public and creating income for the youth. Lab FM Sanaya Ojima throws more light on the greenhouse system of production.
Benjamin Frimpong stands on a ladder to harvest bell peppers held up on a string with a pair of scissors. The plants are in the advanced stages of their production cycle. Benjamin, an agriculture graduate from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, has already sold vegetables worth over 30,000 cedis from this cycle.
It needs a lot of attention. If you get someone who is willing to do it, you will get your benefits. Because with this project that we are doing, let's say the 6 months, I can say we've gotten a lot.
It is estimated a greenhouse of 640 meter square size can produce up to 60,000 cedis worth of vegetables when best practices are adhered to. In addition to his cocoa farm, Kwame Nkrumah has taken up vegetable production in greenhouse. Though his farm is at the early stage, he is optimistic of higher income levels.
My first harvest,
I'm looking at making the 60,000 cedis.
Yeah, 60,000 Ghana cedis. Cocoa so ansana.
But for cocoa farming, you can't make that amount at an early stage.
Cocoa no coin ni mu pa ansana wonya ese kan enso kura no e brand ateti abefam no nyasem ketua.
Due to poor irrigation, Ghana is unable to meet demand for vegetables. The Ministry of Trade and Industry estimated between 2013 and 2015 annual importation of onions stood at $9.3 million, $1.2 million for tomato, and also $65,000 for chili. A greenhouse farming system involves growing vegetables in controlled environment where the temperature and water intake are controlled. Due to the enclosed environment, proper sanitation methods are employed to prevent disease infestation, while food baths are adopted at the entrance of the greenhouses to prevent infestation. Treated coconut husks replace the soil as rubber covers the ground completely. Through a specially designed irrigation system, water and other nutrients are supplied to the plants. Enterprise Development Officer Solomon Anum explains how the technology works.
Per your fertilizer grades and ratio that you've made at every stage of the crop, you know the number of crops here as in 1,000 per the 200 liters, so 2,000 liters of water. You use your fertilizer to it, then you inert it. So you give it at a time. Maybe at every 7 minutes, you know that at every 7 minutes, the dripper line is giving you about the 200 liters of water for the plant, and you are done.
Mr. Anum rates the greenhouse farming practice above the open field cultivation.
The greenhouse is such that it provides you with vegetables year-round in the cycle, and per the condition over here, we have a covering that minimizes pest and disease control, and then at the same time, water availability at all times.
Under the Youth in Greenhouse Enterprise project, 100 greenhouses have been installed in various parts of the country, employing 400 people permanently and the same number temporarily. 2 individuals are given a greenhouse to man and pay off money invested into the construction of the houses. The project is funded by Ghana Exim Bank and implemented by Agri-Impact Consult as part of government's Planting for Food and Jobs and the One District, One Factory program. Gideon Adontin is Public Relations Officer for the project.
The greenhouse structures are of a size of 640 square meter. This 640 square meter greenhouses has over 2,100 plants. This 2,100 plants, a plant give me over 5 kilos. I'm using a minimum to do my calculation here. I get 5 kilos and I sell a kilo of tomato for 10 Ghana cedis. So 10 times the 5 is giving me 50. Times my 1,200 plants, I am getting over 60,000 per a production cycle. I have 2 cycles in a year.
Meanwhile, Fresh Logistics, a vegetable marketing company, is providing market support, including off-taking the produce and distributing to shops, retailers and hotels. Dora Akpenetosu is marketing officer at Fresh Logistics, operating under the Agri-Impact Consult.
Because our plants are being protected from the harsh weather conditions, we do not use more spray on them, making the produce last longer because of the less chemicals on it and the taste being so good.
From Kumasi for Joy Business, Nana Ojima reporting.
And if we are able to invest in greenhouse technology, we wouldn't have to import vegetables we can easily produce right here in this country. Before we wrap up on this segment, let's check the commodity market. My name is Daryl Kwao. Thanks for watching the business segment. Sports is coming up next with Oweku Ampofu. Stay tuned. Hello and
and welcome to the second part of the sports segment with me, Oreku Ampofu. In the first part, we brought you the story of Anatu Sadat, who plays for Northern Ladies and then, became the first woman in the history of the Women's League to wear a hijab playing. Now, this time, we focus on how that feat was achieved through Northern player Maxwell Welezi, and then he collaborated with Nike as well.
Whatever wasn't a decision I just made overnight, but it is something I've always had in mind because I have always wanted to follow my Islamic culture and belief, but I never had something more comfortable and pleasing enough to wear on the field of play. Growing up, not being able to wear the hijab had been some kind of a barrier to me because it wasn't good. I wasn't feeling that good. There's this feeling in me that haunted me for a while because it is part of the Islamic society for a woman to cover up her hair, most essential part of the body. So I wouldn't say I'm perfect or I'm the purest among all, but I would say it is a good thing for a woman to do so. I hope and I wish to encourage my fellow Muslims to also follow their duty.
Actually, it wasn't my aim to give it to Ghanaian Muslim footballers, but I had this experience in Nima. As you all know, I'm from Nima and I attended a school called Islamic Training Institute. I used to have this classmate who is very talented, in sports. Her name is Habiba Mukhtar. Whenever there's any sports activity in the school, Habiba will always complain about her not covering her hair. So it's so difficult for her to participate in those sports. So I like when I got the opportunity to sign for Nike, I thought of someone like Habiba Mutari in my community. What can I do to help this kind of people? Then this hijab initiative came in mind. So actually this started when I was in Islamic Training Institute taking off a girl like Habiba Mukhtar. Actually, I think I started achieving since something since day one, you know, because looking at the smile coming from the girls' faces, I think it's something that make me proud, and I feel like this is one of the goals I set to myself, to just see smiles on their faces. And right now, as this is trending, one of a girl from my project named Anoto Sadat, who is now playing the Ghana Women's League, and now she's the first girl to wear the hijab in Ghana, which I'm proud and happy.
Well, that's the incredible story of, Sadat Anatu, and we'll be giving you more of these over the weekend as well. We do have one of our guys, George Addo Jr. in Tamale, so expect more interesting angles to this story over the weekend. But as I wrap up the sports here, my name is Oreku Ampofu.
Night and a great weekend.